Can you still buy a house in Winterville, North Carolina for $2,500 a month?
And let's talk about the real thing, what happens with people online. When you're looking online, you're looking at these homes, and you typically look at the sales price, and our heart skips a beat. We look at $300,000, $400,000, and we look at interest rates, 6-7%, and people say, I can't do it, I walk away. But here's the thing, most people understand once you look past those two numbers, we don't look at those things every day. What you care about every single month is how much your monthly payment is. We don't care about the sales price, you care about that monthly payment. And that is the number that actually matters. That number determines what you can afford when you go out to dinner on Friday night, or if you're eating for ramen noodles for 30 years. It determines what is affordable and what is out of reach.
Exactly.
Right? So we're going to answer that question from you. If you're here in Winterville, North Carolina, can you buy an amazing home, not a fixer-upper, an amazing home for a monthly budget of $2,500?
Exactly. Therefore,
The
answer is resounding yes. And we are not just going to tell you, we are going to prove it to you with the 3 specific examples currently on the market. Now, before you take in inside these houses, we have to look at the math, because guys, numbers never tell lies.
Oh, well, okay. So anyway, if you look inside the house, we're going to say realistic. We have to talk about principal, interest, property taxes, and homeowners insurance. And all of this is in there and we're even for things like landfill fee if you care about those things as well. But for now, let's talk about a 3.5% down, FHA style loan, interest rate about approximately about 6.5% on a fixed rate mortgage. So I picked high. I think it is actually a little lower now, which is great. But based on this number, $2,500 a month allows you to purchase a $335,000 home in Winterville. This isn't just a magic number. It opens up a lot of inventory in a lot of places, in desirable areas like Villa Grande, Copper Creek, Langston Farms, Ridgewood Farms. And I'm going to give you a couple examples to really talk about this, to really explain the math.
Exactly. Therefore, our first stop is really for home buyers that will want a space, is a yard, a newer community, but it wants to keep also the payment well under the limit. We call it the Smart Starter. And this home is located in Delilah Drive, which is part of the subdivision in Villa Grande, which is one of the nice part of the Winterville, North Carolina community that has really interesting design and also atmosphere and space houses.
Well, the one we're talking about specifically is 1891 square feet, 4 bedroom, 2 bath, and it is not a small house. It's very comfortable. And let's talk about the math. It's $315,000 and 909 at 3.5% down. We're talking about $11,909, and it means the loan amount is going to be about $305, $304, $930. And if you calculate the payment at 6.5%, the math is going to work out at about 19.27% for principal and interest. Property and taxes are going to be $300, $306, insurance $118, and even if you want to just throw in some extra fees of like $12, this brings us to $23.64. Now you can probably get this house even cheaper than that.
Exactly.
But I want to say, talk to us, because we do pay attention to builders and builder specials.
Therefore, with this first example that we made you for this house for $359.90, we basically came to 23. What was the number?
2364. Based
Therefore,
on the 6.5%.
Exactly. Based on the 6.5%. Of course, if you have a better credit score, because this is based off the low credit score. If you have a better credit score, definitely you're gonna get a better deal with actually the lender. And we are like $136 left over for every single month compared to the max limit that we were talking about, $2,500.
Now the next thing I want to talk about is, say you're like, I don't need a big house like that. So the second one I want to talk about is a townhome. Because maybe you're a young professional, maybe you're a couple without kids, maybe you're looking to downsize, you don't really want to deal with the lawn, which is most of my town people, they don't want to deal with lawn.
Exactly.
You might be looking at Ridgewood Farms, because let's talk about one of the ones in Sunstone Way. Beautiful house, a townhome, 3 bedroom, 2 bath.
2.5 bath.
2.5, sorry.
Exactly.
And it's an ensuite, you have 1,429 square feet, and the real numbers here is the amounts. Tell me about the numbers.
The number is, the list price is $239,240. Therefore, if you go in FHA, 3.5%, that brings you to $8,373 for your down payment. Therefore, how much you gonna get loan? $230,867.
Now it's 6.5%.
Exactly. With the 6.5%, basically your principal and interest is gonna come to $1,459. And if you add the property tax, in average $232, and insurance, even $118, that numbers brings you to $1,821 per month.
Now I want to point out again, we know how to get you some great deals on these homes. They typically have more specials than this. But if you're talking about under $2,500, this is $1,800 a month is what we're just talking about.
And $700 under that limit.
Right, so that's why I wanted to show you the math there. Now let's go back to the houses, because maybe you're like, no, I want a big house, I want a beautiful house. Let's talk about Langston Farm.
Exactly. Therefore, if you are talking about the Langston Farm, the family ready, let's look at a 4-bedroom, 3-bathroom in that community, which is like a 2,127 square feet. And that's a lot of house, over 2,000 square feet, with the more space for you and your loved one. And the lease prices start from $335,000. And now, looking at 3.5% down payment with the FHA loan, you're looking at $11,725 for your down payment, and it left you with the $323,275 of loan. Now, as we talk about 6.5% interest rate, depends on your credit score, we're looking at principal and interest of $2,043. And the property tax is going to be $325 and insurance $118 plus the land fee $12. That puts you at $2,498. Just right on the money.
We did this to show you that there is definitely ways, and if you're looking and you say to me, my budget's higher, my budget's lower, amazing, we can help at all fronts. That's why I used one that was a lower price point to show you the differences and how you can still get beautiful and you can still get new, but you can get better deals. And honestly, we can get you better deals on all the things we just discussed. But let's bring it back, because if you're looking for a starter home, a beautiful home here in the Winterville area, or big family residence in Langston Farms, you're looking for that sleek townhome, we've done them all. And we can't wait to show you how to shop, how to get the deals. We do pay attention to what the deals are. We recently had a client who waited for a deal in order to buy a home. So she just waited and waited and waited, and once the deal hit, she bought the home immediately. So this happens all the time. When we're focusing on our monthly payment and not necessarily all the other noise of interest rates, how much the houses are, we're going to shop with more confidence. This is why we have to know what our budget is, what we feel comfortable paying, and understanding the monthly payment at the end of the day is what really, really matters, because you get to live your life the way you want, with the budget you want, based on that monthly payment.
Exactly. Therefore, do you want to talk about this client?
I would say don't make an offer without making sure that everything is completely legit, making sure that you've communicated with us, of course, and we've really made sure that the lender is run through all your numbers and make sure that everything is completely verified, because this is North Carolina. But you want to make sure that we can help you with the insurances, we can help you understanding taxes around here. But remember, we're real estate agents, not lenders. We can't give you financial advice, but we can look and see if we see the back end of it all the time, so we can tell you what we feel and maybe what you want to do with that information. So you can look at your eligibility, understand it needs to be verified, but I would not be paying rent if you can afford not to pay rent.
Exactly. Therefore, if you're currently paying rent and you are close to these numbers that we were telling you, you need to talk to us. Because you need to build equity instead of paying somebody else more. And we are here to help you in Greenville and Winterville, North Carolina. Alan Victoria Pinder, real estate agent in Pitt County, North Carolina, and we'll love to help you to make your dream go true. Please trust us to guide your move, and don't forget to click that button, subscribe button, write us comment, and watch all of our playlists, everything about Greenville and Winterville, North Carolina. And see you soon and talk to you soon.